Hi, good morning, everyone. My name is Aline Gabriela Cortes. I'm going to talk about my final project, and let's start. My topic is online classes and their main technological barriers in the English language teaching. Uh, why did I choose this topic? I choose this topic because during this contingency or pandemic, there has been a radical change in education, and students and teachers at all levels have been forced to take classes at a distance. And based on this, I think that everyone lives their reality differently, and having access to technology is in, indispensable in this time of pandemic. And according to INEGI, less than half of the population has access to technology, and the other half is in situation of poverty, and only 44.3% of households have a computer, and 56.4% has an internet connection, and 10.7% access the internet outside the home, which is why the performance of teacher and students learning is affected. Um, for my research problem statement, um, I have three, and the first is, what are the main technological barriers to online English classes? And the next one is, how do the barriers currently influence the academic performance of students in a second language? And the next one is, during this contingency, how do teachers work to avoid educational disruption? And also my hypothesis, and I have two hypotheses for the development of my project. And the first is, students demonstrate possible barriers around online classes during environmental contingency, and with the help of diagnostic and application planning. And the next one is, the students show what they have learned during the contingency, in this case, distance learning, and they express it within the classroom at the moment of standardization of achievement in education in our country. And I have three objectives, and the first is, identify the main barriers facing online classes in a second language, in this case, English. And the next one is, exemplify and explain the barriers that remain, and analyze and suggest possible solutions for improvement during the contingency based on the research. And I have two purposes, and the first is to know the learning that the student acquired during the pandemic, and knowing the impact on student learning with this new mode of study. And in support of my work, I use connectivism. Um, Connectivism is proposed by George Simons, and this author treats learning as process that take place in different environments and that something doesn't depend only on the individual learner but can be found within a database or within a social environment. And the objective of connectivism is to interpret and explain the way technology affects our communications or personal relationships and our lives, but above all, the way we learn. And so, as Simons mentioned some principles for connectivity, which are learning and knowledge lies in the diversity of opinion. The next one is learning is the process of connecting knowledge or sources or information. The next one is learning is the process sorry, is the second. And the third is it's not only from humans that one learns, knowledge can reside outside the human beings. And the next one is the ability to increase knowledge is more important than one is already know. Connection is to be nurtured and made to facilitate to continue learning, and the ability to see the connection between fields, ideas, and concepts is paramount. And the next one is up-to-date and accurate information is the intention of all activities in the connectivity process. The next one is this decision making is itself a learning process, choosing what to learn and the meaning of the incoming information is seen through the lens of changing reality. And the next one, also George Siemens mentioned that it's human nature to establish link with other people through networks. And well, this theory is the only one that considers learning a collaborative process that cannot be achieved individually, and the diversity of views that are shaped as a guide to knowledge. And when the new and the old meet, or the modern meets the old, and the new meets the stop after only they can through learning take place. And also learning and knowledge are created and built in community, and the students aren't merely passive agents and receive of the knowledge transmitted by the teachers, and but their own knowledge guided by the teachers. And well, um, also I have a main characteristic that the pupil development according to this author that is George Siemens, and I have two main characteristics. The first is it teaches them to evaluate and evaluate information to ensure its credibility, and it teaches them to differentiate between good and bad information, and to build a resource and to make a web research success. Um, the next one is it helps them to organize all this flow or information, and it teaches them to build their own network and to take advantage of learning and opportunities. And it guides them when they get stuck. For second language learning, um, uh, taking all the above into account and learning a second language, the main objective of the student of second language is communication, and during the learning process, he or she has to submit to communicative situation and try to solve the linguistic problem that arise. And I have a clear example that is in this time we are living in where students are facing an unusual situation and where they have changed their way of life and in all this aspect radically, right? And so online classes are therefore considered to be detrimental to the learning of second language, and to a certain extent, and which lends to teacher showing great effort and content to providing a good education and learning. And finally, these are my reference, and that's all for me. Thank you for your attention.